Good afternoon, Waycross family. This is your city update, the second update for the month of October. And welcome everybody. As a reminder, this is geared to be a little bit longer than the first iteration when the beginning of the month. So we're gonna change up a little bit today. I got some slides we're gonna post. We post these slides during all the commission and working session meetings, but I want to post them today and kind of go over them a little bit in detail to hopefully provide a little bit of understanding, just overall city operations, but definitely the direction and the course that we're headed in. And after that, I'll touch on a few points, and then of course we'll take some questions or and some comments and try to answer those comments in the chat area. So again, this is the second one. If anybody new that's watching, we conduct these twice a month. This is another way for us to communicate to our citizens. The first one's really short, just me getting information and taking a few questions, and then this one's is geared to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to start here. This is the vision and the mission. And if I know some people called me after the last meeting, kind of asked how we came up with this. So when I first got here, we did have a different vision, and then I sat down with the then commission, and we kind of restructured the vision, and then from the vision we kind of collected a mission. So I'm gonna read the vision. You can probably see it there for yourself. But the city of Waycross is a dedicated workforce enhancing quality of life while driving service excellence in support of its citizens and communities. So essentially, that's what we do. That's what we strive to do. Um, I believe we do it very well for what we have. You know, we have limited resources, of course, limited salaries, but our workforce is amazing, and they go hard for our community every day, and I can't thank them enough. We all are very encouraged by the work they do and proud of them. And if you see them around, as always, just if you got it in your heart, if you believe, or understand what I say, or agree with what I say, just give them a word of encouragement. Say thank you because they do a lot for the community. We go to the next slide. Um, and sometimes my slides take a little bit more to. I gotta make sure you can see what I'm talking about sometimes. So taking a little bit while. Okay, so the next slide. So I often talk about our big priorities, and of course, our big priorities. And these are, when we say priorities, no one priority carries more weight than the other one. And the other priority, well, I would say the main priority, what you can't see in here or embedded in here, of course, it's going to be safety. But for the other priorities, infrastructure, services, quality of life, and city workforce, those are our big bucket um, priorities. And then within these big buckets or these bins, we have additional priorities, which we'll go ahead to the next slide. And we kind of break it down further for each of these big bucket items. We kind of go into detail about the next set of priorities. I'll talk about a few of these here. Uh, so again, we have the big bucket items: service delivery, infrastructure, quality of life, and then the city workforce. This all kind of coincides with the city plan, which we'll show in a little bit. Um, so one thing on here uh, that I won't really go into detail further down the slide deck is kind of mention our outreach programs. And I just had a meeting this morning. Sometimes I tag team the meetings with the mayor and the Where's Initiative, the Where Children's Initiative. Had a meeting this morning. We were talking about our unhoused children's community. You often hear us talk about our unhoused citizens, and most of the time, that's kind of contributed to just being adults. But if you didn't know, we have a large population of children that are kind of doing what we call couch surfing. That means going from home to home, from system to system, just to make, just to survive every day. We had a very important meeting today, and I'm going to follow up with a post today talking about that, how you can help. We often hear people in the community saying we need to do more or we could do more. And a lot of times, um, I think it kind of jumped on me a little bit, the slide, um, that we can, you know, ask how we can help or we criticize. And the main thing with that initiative, we definitely they need more help. They need more hands on deck. They need more people to kind of need more funding. People do more time because, like I said, we do have probably more children that are living house to house, couch to couch. Some own and system wise. When I say system wise, I mean in the in the system. Sometimes for the shelters that for our children. So uh, that was a really gut checking meeting today. They did some stats on our comparison with us to the state, in a lot of different categories. When do we have children, the age of our young parents, um, the quality of education, the lack of education, all those things. So we haven't yet talked about this as far as outreach programs at the city meetings, but at the next meeting, that's going to be our next target area. We're going to talk about all the outreach programs, and when I say outreach, I mean the Where Children Initiative, Oath. It's so many organizations that do so much for our community that I think most citizens might not be aware of for various reasons. But we're definitely going to do a better job of highlighting all the great, you know, not just great things or contributions, but all the, I'll say, requirements that are needed for a city to be successful. These organizations do. They carry a heavy workload. We're gonna recognize them and I say recognize. I don't mean just to you know, put them on a prop, but to recognize that they are attacking issues here that all cities face, and are challenged with. But they're doing a lot of great work and needed work that must be recognized. So anyway, this slide here, it just identified our big bucket items and then further breaks them down as far as other priorities. We can go to the next slide. And what we kind of did differently, if you're watching the meetings or coming to the meetings, each meeting we kind of break down a priority. Now, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to spend a little time on each of these priorities as we've broken them down, and hopefully answer some questions to everybody while I do so. So, the first priority that we broke down was the canals and alleys, and we chose the canals first because when we started this, I think we were coming right behind our cleanup from not cleanup, but we had just started our mitigation process as far as the canals from the hurricanes. And if you didn't know, or if you don't know, we have about 26 to 30 miles of canals here throughout the city that serve a very important purpose as far as moving water. But they need maintenance a lot of times, and for a while there, we could not access some of those key areas in the canal system where it pushes the water back. But with new equipment, new ideas, we had the Corps engineers come in, of course, our city engineers and our team here at Public Works. We sat down and had quite a few meetings, and we tried to make sure we reapproached how we maintain our canal areas. And not when I say maintain our canals, I know a lot of our citizens only see that aspect of aesthetics, like cutting the canals and those things. This last year, what we did, we really got in there and did the operational aspect of canals by really cleaning them out to get that water so it can move much faster. And that way, and to prevent of a storm, in the event of a storm, we're better prepared. So we've done that. Great kudos to our team. Again, Public Works had the lead on that. And they did a great job. Um, but with the canals, like I said, we got kind of two seasons, summer, winter with these. And it's past pretty much the whole summer. We've been working on operational needs versus aesthetics. And like I said, I'm very proud about that. So what you'll be seeing now is our team coming around, and now we're going to focus on aesthetics. That means cleaning out the high vegetation areas, the overgrowth, and as much as we can. In some cases, we will not be able to get to the areas. I know in the past, they might have had the prison detail that's no longer available to us. So, we try to do what we can do. The good thing with our new equipment, we still can kind of get in those cracks that we couldn't before with our old equipment. So, you will see a lot of change in far as getting rid of some of that overgrowth vegetation. And once again, we're proud of our Public Works. If we go to the next slide, and I won't spend too much time on these individually until I get to the last one, but I just want to give everybody a little bit of details on, when we discuss this in meetings while we're discussing it. So the next part is going to be blighted properties. Now we're going to talk about this in more clarity at the next meeting. We're going to go discuss it at the next land bank meeting, and being transparent. This is one area that we we still haven't figured out yet. Just we're trying to look at ways to mitigate it, and it's rough. We this has been a problem for decades. It's been building and building and building. So we're already behind the eight ball trying to figure this out. But just rest assured, know that we are working it. So a few things on here. So what we did do again is we are trying to, and we did this already, is get a proper inventory and prioritize our efforts. For a long time, the city's kind of jumped around, just tackling projects when the citizens kind of playing the most, and that sort of works, kind of works. But what we're trying to do now is use data analytics and just get our most visible areas and hit those first, and then get add some cost value to there as well. So we're trying to proceed that way. We're looking at different how we enforce our policies. We had policies on the book that we really wasn't enforcing or really couldn't enforce. So we're trying to just go back and look at that and maybe change how that's done. And again, like I said earlier, this is going to be a long fight. Just to be honest with you. One thing we have learned, and you hear me talk about this at the next meeting, on the land bank, because the way it's structured with its bylaws, they can move a little bit faster on properties than maybe the city can in regards to property taxes. And I made a comment at the last meeting. Again, we're not waiving the city cannot waive property taxes, first of all. In the land bank, they're getting that's not a way we need to get in the break, because once the person buys through the land bank, you're still gonna you're not gonna pick the back taxes up, but you will start paying the new taxes. So I want to make sure I made that clear. But it does work better than currently right now, where we have a lot of property just sitting there because they have a lot of back taxes on them. But we're gonna talk about this in more in detail at the next meeting, at the land bank meeting. So I encourage you to attend if you can. I don't think right now we live stream the land bank meeting. We might need to start doing that in the future so people can better understand how the land bank works. If you don't understand how land bank works, you can go to our website and kind of look it up to get a better understanding. So if we go to the next slide. And of course, while we're going through this, you can always ask questions, and I'll try to answer questions as we go along. Unhoused citizens. I kind of mentioned this earlier when I was discussing some of our unhoused children. So it's still a problem here in Waycross. I will say that we have some more agencies that are we've always had agencies that are tackling this issue, but we have a few more coming on. And from the city's perspective, we are looking at, of course, maybe a homeless shelter, but again, a homeless shelter without procedures, without a recovery program, without proper staff, it becomes more of a hindrance. So we're really trying to figure that out. If we do establish a homeless center, how's that going to really work? That's the main thing. How's it going to be staffed? How do we bring people back to I guess their best selves? So, but we're trying our best to figure that out, and that's probably not something the city can lead, but that's something that the community can lead. So we are looking for volunteers. Also, if you have any recommendations on that, on a homeless shelter, outside of just make one, because of course that's the first thing we're going to say. But think maintenance, think sustainment, think funding, think staff, think insurance, think liability. Put all those factors into your mitigation strategy. If you got some recommendations, of course we want to hear your opinion, because that's important. Because again, this is going to be a community effort versus just a city-led effort. So with unhoused citizens, like we had an influx this month from visitors through our training systems. I know everybody sees that, but we try to go meet and talk to them, try to explain things to them, try to get the help they need. Unison, they play a big part there. Of course, Oath, but we do have people coming in. Right now, we did get an influx, so we are aware of that. I think we had at least 4 new people from out of town that are currently staying here or transitioning through here. And we're trying our best to work with them, get them back on their feet, and get them to where they got to go or where they want to go. But we are, big picture, we are looking at, Can we support a shelter, a community shelter, and what that all entails? So again, if you got ideas or recommendations, and it's like I said again, make sure you do your homework first, because this is going to be a big effort. It will involve a big effort from everybody. So uh, let's go to the next slide. I don't think I see no questions, right? Because sometimes, all right. All right, overpasses and bridges. Okay, I know it's a big one. And I know right now we might have had some work going right now. They just found out about today on one of the railroad crossings. I know everybody's kind of upset about that. But let me say this: I got a phone call when we first put that out. Safety is always going to be first, point blank. So if the railroad finds an unsafe condition, they have to address it. We would hate for somebody to get injured because of a slight inconvenience of having the crossing down for a few hours. So I'm not sure. I think they started already. I'm not sure what time they're going to be done. But if you look on our Facebook page, on the city's page, it kind of has the details of that crossing which is getting done. But big picture, overpassing bridge. So yes, we're almost close to getting that Ozzie Davis construction going. You might see the crane out there knocking down the last few buildings to get that started. With that, we will ask, and we've been saying this, go ahead and start looking at, you know, the alternate routes. And we probably need to start posting alternate routes every week, start next week, so everybody can familiarize themselves with those alternate routes because it is going to be crowded once that construction fully starts. And you might want to make sure, time wise, which direction you need to go in. And just thinking about if you live in the county or coming from the county, you can always come all the way down and still turn at Augusta. Augustus, I think, turns to Augusta right there, and go that way and get down to Corridor Z. You could always go in front of the middle school if the train's not there and go that way. Or before you get down to the city limits, you can go down there through Industrial Park and get to Corridor Z that way. So there'll be other ways too that we'll post once you get into the alternate routes. But I say right now, go ahead and start looking at that, especially if you're doing school drop off, depending where you're going for school drop off, because the buses will be out there too when you're going to work. And traffic altogether is going to pick up. So just kind of know your time. Like I tell everybody, you can get from anywhere in Waycross in about 5 minutes, trains or no trains. So we don't have to speed. We just gotta be safe. Um, what else about trains and bridges? So I'll talk about an issue that we have tried to mitigate recently. That's gonna be Scrivens Avenue and Ava Street. Well, Ava, I think it's Ava Street, Ava. And we did do some new markers down there just to kind of show what the merger is, what the line is, and I don't want to get uh, too basics, but I hope but everybody should understand what a yellow line is, what a white line is as far as driving. If you forgot that, go ahead and look that up so you can understand as far as traffic pattern what that actually means. But we did do some restriping down there that we think, or we hope, that'll kind of mitigate that area around there, so it's not that much congestion trying to get on Plant Avenue. And I want to say that was done maybe Wednesday. Um, I haven't had a time to go out and look at it, check it out, but I'm definitely going to do that tomorrow when I ride around doing Friday mornings for my project review and update. Um, yeah, so and we try to put updates about all projects. So if you go on our page, it'll have the bridge way from Blackshear and Ware County. You can see that as well. Updates on that. So just follow our page for the latest information. But definitely next week, just start looking at taking or not just taking, but uh, researching those alternate routes so you don't get caught up in something here probably in a couple months when that construction really begins. Next slide. I got a question. And I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes these questions don't pop in here. I got to go out the screen and come back in. All right. Okay. So the question is, why are we not hearing anymore about the manufacturing business that was supposed to be here in 2026? So what I'm gonna do for that, Miss? Is that Mr. Mrs. Hood? I can't see the picture. Mrs. Hood, maybe. Um, I want you to inbox this page and leave me your number um, or email. We can respond to. I want to give you a long answer on this video. I want to be a short answer. To my understanding, and I'm not really in the know of that business, I would check with our economic development chair. And Jason, I mean, well, what we're gonna do, we're gonna post the information too, and you can reach out to him. He probably, if he can give you the information update, he will. Sometimes he can't, depending on what's going on with that particular business. The last I knew, they were back on schedule to come, but I have not really been in the know of that project for a few months now. But when I get off of this live stream, I'll give economic development uh, lead a phone call as well, and hopefully he might be monitoring this live stream now. He might answer for himself. I do know that he's working hard to get other businesses here. As many of you know, it's a lot that comes with that. Getting industry businesses here as far as that. And I'm probably going to touch on that at the end as well about us promoting us. That's important too. And I don't want to think I'm dodging your question, but uh, that's a long answer to that for what I can give you. So we will reach back out to you, Miss Hood, and give you a better update on that business if uh, Jason doesn't reach out to you before that. All right. So I think it did it move Streets and Roads already? Okay. All right. So Streets and Roads. I know it's a big topic with everybody. So the next set of roads for the city, as far as paved roads, is going to be like I talked about earlier, Scrivens, and I think what's the other one? Off ahead, but we'll post it in the comments. Who wants to get off? But Scrivens is going to be the main one, and then we got several dirt roads getting done here, and they actually start this week as well. And we'll put all that. Well, actually, all you have to do is go to the daily update, which has been posted already on the city page and on the city manager's page. Look at those, and those roads will be um, embedded on the update. The good thing is, like I said, we're still on target right now with the funding to keep going with the roads. I do believe that we'll have all the dirt roads done probably late next year. That was a goal of the commission with the splash mandate was to get the dirt roads resurfaced, which is what we're doing. And then Brunel, that's the next street. Just popped in my head. So Brunel and Scrivens, we're going to work on those and improve not just the pavement on those, but also a lot of the sewer and water. So that's important as well. So doing great things with that. If you didn't know, and I don't know if you can see it in here, but we have a program called uh, robotics. Is how we kind of it's how we kind of prioritize our roads. And we have over 500 roads in the city of Waycross, and we privatize them, from 1 to 538, and that's how we kind of do our roads. And that prioritization comes from utilization, and then kind of age, core samples, things of that nature, and we put that into a 70-30 mix, and from there we do the prioritization. What you can do, you can go on our web page, not our Facebook page, but our web page, and it has a running list of all the roads that's going to be good and done as well. So this is another long-term problem that's going to take a long-term solution, but we are working it. I just ask that you be patient. I know everybody's main priority is going to be the road in front of their house, and I get it, because that's the road that you travel every day. But we had to have a priority list, so we've been everywhere. And the priority list also allows us to save money. I mean, right now working on our worst roads that particularly going to cost the most money to fix. So, and then as time goes on, as we get to our better roads, that cost will go down. So, can we move to the next slide? I seen some more. Well, okay. Not the same question. All right. All right. So morale. This is mainly for our workforce, and we try to make sure that our citizens understand, how important it is that we maintain a motivated It's first of all motivated, trained, and skilled workforce as far as talent management. And it takes a lot because we are in what we call wage inflation right now. I think everybody's wages not maybe where it should be. This is across the country. So a lot of people are making decisions and choices based off of that, and that comes in play with our workforce as well, especially with our police and fire. Um, but we try our best to do other things outside of wages to just keep them motivated, keep them on the team. Um, and I'll talk about a few of those things. We have a flex day that we program right now, where sometimes they can complete work from home. We've been giving them a cola where we average about 4% every year. We've tried to change the scheduling of how they work, so they're not pulled. This is more mainly public works, so they're not pulled everywhere across the community. They just come in, they cut zones, they cut to a certain requirement, and they get done. And this is very effective, especially in the hot months. When by 1, 2 o'clock it's already 100 plus degrees, and by that time we want them to have all the big areas cut. And they've been doing a fabulous job about just getting it done. Um, we've also established a Christmas bonus. They get a Christmas bonus. We made some change to our longevity program. Of course, we have a quality recognition program, and then we're just trying to be better leaders. As a leader, we want to respect all our employees. We're trying to make sure we understand the dynamics of their jobs. We're trying to make their jobs easier. Uh, Although they might not say this if you talk to them right now, but we've been trying to change our software, complete software changeover, and it's been a steep learning curve in some cases. But long run, it's gonna make their jobs better, and I appreciate everyone who's had to be more involved with that for their patience as far as the workforce. Um, we challenged our HR to find other ways to keep their morale up. They're doing a great job of giving me ideas to propose to the directors, just to keep everybody's spirits in line. We've done some days. Well, we did some recognition lunches over the last 2 years, and you know, this is important because, like I said, if their morale is not good, then the quality of work is not going to be good. The customer service is not going to be good. It's all connected. So, like I said, that's why this is such a big priority for us as a city. And again, on behalf of the commission and the mayor, we love our workforce. I know y'all love our workforce. Um, I know sometimes reading some of the surveys you might do or reading Facebook posts and things like that, you know, it might be some folks that are not too pleased with me, but they're always pleased with our workforce, and that's what's important. That we got a great workforce, and that's everybody on this team. So we can go to the next slide. I don't think no questions popped up, y'all. Let me look though and refresh it. All right. So I ain't gonna spend a lot of time here. I just want to make sure that you understand most of our decisions, they are data driven, and we get a lot of that data. Of course, comparative research, surveys we give to citizens, updates we give from citizens, some software. But we use that to advise the commission on, certain aspects of their jobs. I don't like to go in there without, you know, having done some research or collecting some data. This is on anything, um, because I want to make sure they got the most informed decision. There you see that robotics program I mentioned. Um, Anything with streets and roads, we always confer with GDOT. Um, live streams to get feedback from you. Um, Also get our feedback from the city app and our data, comments on our web page, and then community engagement. We like to get out there and talk to the community just to get feedback. That's probably one of our better ways of getting data. Just your conversations and your suggestions. That's a form of data as well. So I appreciate that. So that part there is just to show you that we don't make stuff up. We make sure we get the data and the science behind a problem, and then we address it appropriately. Go to the next slide. All right. And I think this is the one we added this month, I believe. So effective communications, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Um, one of the directives I was given when I first arrived here through the Mayor and Indian Commission was how do we better communicate with the public, with our citizens. And I sat down with the team then, directors then, and we kind of came up with some courses of action. And then over time, we morphed into some um, other ways. But you know, this is so critical because in a time of misinformation, uninformed information, lack of information, lack of understanding, lack of training, lack of application, uh, some things can be misconstrued very easily, and then that slows down the decision making process of the commission. And so what we try to do is like communicate as best we can. We got a lot of ways that we communicate, and I'll touch on these here. Of course, and the main one is going to be the commission meetings. I encourage you to make the meetings, the working sessions. There was a time we did not live stream the working session, and the working session is going to be our longest meeting. But that's because that's when we go down line by line on all of the agenda items. We have true discussion. The next day at the meeting, we're just voting pretty much. But that day before, that Monday, first third Monday, we're gonna go down the line by line about the items, and I encourage you to come. With that said, I know this last Monday you know, we had it was a different meeting, and I would say I did do a post just talking about you know how the meeting should be supposed to be ran, the decorum, the respect. I just asked you look in our charter, and some of my staff kind of made some comments too on multiple pages, both professional and personal, about that. The commission doesn't get paid a lot of money to do those jobs. They all have other jobs, daytime jobs. Um, all that we're asking in these meetings, and of course, you can voice your opinion um, on a lot of things. But if you come in there just to let me belittle somebody, that's not helping anybody out. It's not going to fix your problem. It's not going to fix our problem. Um, but if you got a real solid issue, oh yeah, come and address it, and we will definitely try to find a resolution or a mitigation strategy and get back to you if we can. So, but with that, with the communications, like I said, we got social media platforms. We're on all the platforms now. I mentioned the meeting commission meetings, our websites, city website, um, town halls. We're going to get back to doing town halls. We were doing some of them virtually. We had a few this past year, but this next after elections, we're going to get back out doing those every quarter. We do surveys through emails, the city app. We got a new text phone service. If you haven't signed up, please sign up. It is amazing. Of course, we got the code red still for emergencies. And again, face-to-face community engagement that we still do. What I'm doing right now. And the main thing with all that is to ensure transparency, truth. And when I say collaboration, I mean just true feedback from the community. When I mention partners and stakeholders, you know, um, what are we trying to solve? Can we solve it together? Can it be solved? What resources need to solve it? All that comes from a collaboration, having honest, constructive feedback and communications on a problem or whatever that problem might be. So I think we're doing very well with the new communication strategy. Like I said, we've been really getting out. We get a lot of feedback. Um, we get a lot of emails, and we try to answer those emails. So I'm really excited about that. And I got to go back to that app. That app is probably going to be the fastest way still right now to communicate with us. Not necessarily communicate with us as far as conversation, but getting a task done or completed, it's going to be that app. So please download that today and utilize that as best you can. Um, I don't think no question came up. Okay. But yeah, so definitely we're trying to make sure that we communicate effectively. And with that, if you feel like the communication is lacking on any of our platforms or our systems or our technology, again, just reach out and let us know. Director Simmons handles a lot of that. But at the same time, you can reach out to any director. You might see the public works director out here, doing the work of cleaning the city up. Stop and ask him. Police chief, fire chief. if you're in the building, the finance director, HR, we're all in the building. Um, just stop by, because if you got a better way to do it, then we want to try it. Because we definitely want to make sure everybody has the right information, the most updated information, so they can better understand whatever it is that we're trying to discuss. All right, next slide. And these might be a little different from what you see again at the retreat and at the retreat at the work session and then actual commission meeting. So here, this is just a 10-year plan, and you see this all the time during the meetings, short term, mid term, long term, and this kind of outlines the city's effort just in a bullet format over the next 10 years. Next slide. And what we're doing now, because that's a lot to kind of process, because we don't even know what the future holds right now. So right now at the meetings, what I like to do, I like to focus on the midterm, which is year 2 to 4 for me, as I'm in year 2.5 here as your city manager. And right now we kind of focused on those areas, and I guess the slide kind of dropped down a little bit. But I'm gonna read some of these to you, and I've kind of mentioned them already through the briefing. But right now, we are currently implementing updated programs, policies, and ordinances and procedures with performance tracking, just for us to get better at our jobs. Of course, we're always trying to work on our workforce. When I talked about morale, the workforce, that was that piece. Complete automation update of all systems and programs. Again, that's been a huge taking, and we're almost done with that. But it's going to make everybody's job easier for not only our staff but also our citizens, as far as getting business license, code department, things of that nature. Then the last two kind of similar, just getting a proper financial strategy or growth strategy, using the amount of funding that we have. If you missed the meeting on Tuesday, a lot of our funding comes from taxes, and about 75% of those taxes goes directly to the workforce for their salary and benefits. So then we got a small amount that we can use, not small, small amount that we can use for other means. So what we're trying to do right now is make sure we have a identified strategy to maximize that remaining funding moving forward. The long term, you can see that I won't go too far on long term, but it is there for your review. But just know the so what from this slide is we're really trying to change the direction of the ship. It's been a little difficult, to get buy-in from everybody. But I'm pleased right now because we're definitely heading in the right direction. We definitely got a lot of key stakeholders and community partners helping us out, with our day to day, and we helping them out with their day to day. And I see a lot of improvement. I'm happy about it. All right, we can go to the next slide. And I don't see any comments, but all right. And this, when you see it, this is actually the update. This is a couple days old, but like I say, the correct update is online right now. But I do brief this at the working session. I do brief this at the commission meeting. It just outlining where public works is for the day, where engineering is for the day, and what they're doing as far as jobs. So we're not going to stay too far on this. Just go on the page, take a look at it, so you can better understand how we operate daily. Next slide. And there it is. We were just discussing about the streets, and so the bids are actually complete for Scrivens and Avenue and Brunel Street. And with I want to touch on Scrivens real fast because this is gonna be kind of a test pilot for a paving project when we look at putting more speed calming infrastructure as part of that process. So we're going to see how that goes, and hopefully this will become a standard model for the rest of our streets as they get paved. And right there, that's the first set of dirt roads, you see with the deputy, Barbara Hamilton, Holiday James, Johanna Satilla. And that work has started as well. So those people and citizens, churches and businesses living on those dirt roads, you will have a paved road pretty soon. And then, like I said, hopefully by the end of next year, we won't have any dirt roads in the city of Waycross. Next slide. And this is just talking about the fall cleanup, about our dumpsters. And I want to thank everybody real quick on this. I know we had and I look back, I probably posted that situation the wrong way. Um, we know it's a lot of big items will come out there with the trash. And it wasn't necessarily us complaining that it was bought out there, because that was the plan to get it bought out there. I guess it was, we waited to the last day to bring stuff out there. So um, with the bins out right now, and I think they're still in when they went to the park, Moore Park this week. So we're just asking, like, again, get your stuff out there. I don't want to make this it's not a bad thing. If you got stuff, go ahead and bring it to the dumpster. We'll try to dumpster at least once a day, more times if we can, depending on how bad it fills up. But get rid of your stuff. But on that same lines, there are other ways, because you pay for another service for us, 5 bulk items you can get, picked up too. So just make sure you check on all your abilities and your means to get rid of trash, because you want to make this helps us keep Wake Cross cleaner, because in the past, when I first got here, we wasn't doing that. People just gonna throw their stuff in the canals, down dirt roads, dead ends, and we have to drive around, waste gas looking for this stuff. This actually helps us help you more efficiently. So take advantage of it. Just be respectful that it's probably a couple guys you got to come over there and clean that stuff up when you don't put it in the back of the bin. But once again, not trying to be negative. This is an effective program. We're gonna make a few modifications, but we're not gonna change not having it out there available to our citizens. All right, next slide. And this is I think it's coming up as the well you know the zone. We don't skip over that yet. Um when I first got with my directors and tried to create this program, there were a few reasons. At first, we were trying to hit every district, like every district all the time, and that was not sustainable. And then we tried to hit a district every day, and if it rained or something, we kept getting behind. So we kind of went to this zone concept, which seems to be working in my assessment. But if you feel like it ain't working, I want you to go on the app or the email and just reach out to us. But in my assessment, it's working really well. It's really favorable with our workforce, um, but we might not have it all the way right. But I think it's working. And again, if you're not familiar with the zone system, you see where the zones lie. Albany Avenue to Plant Avenue, Memorial Highway to Scrivens, Memorial Highway to Haynes, and then Albany Avenue to Glenmore. And that means between those two streets, anything between there, that's gonna be your zone. So just think of it that way. Um, and a lot of our posting, when we say we're in zone 1 for mosquito spraying, or we're in zone 1 for this, or we're in zone 4 for that, that's what we're talking about. So not necessarily a district or a street or an area, just a zone that comprises all of those streets and maybe multiple districts. Is that clear for everybody? If just give me some feedback if it's not, because I'll definitely make sure this is clearly understood. All right, next slide. All right, it's the big one, and a lot of times, because somebody was mocking me like without transparency. I would just say this: if you can find me 2 more cities that promote their financial reports every day, although this is a monthly report, because it doesn't change month day to day, it changes monthly. I'd be surprised. You know, we definitely try to let you see where your tax dollars are going. Um, Now, this can be somewhat confusing if you don't know how municipalities work as far as finances. But again, if you don't, you can simply, make an appointment with the finance director or his team, with myself. Any of my directors can explain this. Any of the commissioners can explain this. But we're not hiding from anything as far as finances. That's why I put this out here. That's why all of our previous budgets are online. All of our audits are online. Um, I mean, we do not hide anything. So, like I said, if you're concerned about our finances or our spending, come talk to us. I can explain any purchase that we make. But what I like to do more than that, I like to put this out here to show you um, where spending is going. We just did our quarterly update for our finance department. We did that, just talking about the first quarter from July to now. Um, and I think it was successful. We try to connect the dots on how this works, the type of funding that we have. The main funding going to be taxes, because we are a taxation-led government, and how those taxes apply to the services and workforce that services you every day. I hope that we achieve that message with the briefing, but if we didn't, then again, let us know, because I don't mind, and the commission doesn't mind uh, doing another briefing. We can do another whole finance specific briefing because we want you to get it. Because as far as trust, this is gonna be the main thing that establishes that more than anything else. We can work hard as we want to work hard as we want to with the police, the fire, and public works, and support directorates. But if finances ain't, if people don't feel trustworthy about the finances, then that's gonna really matter. So, but I stand by this. We got a great finance department. They carry a very heavy workload. Our utilities, our billing, our purchasing. I mean, they work alongside our city clerk in some capacity. They do a lot of work, and they're going through a lot right now because, my great big idea to change all the IT systems. Like I say, it's a little bit a little bit rough, being honest, but we're making our way through. We're almost done. But again, if you got any question about our finances, just come up here and talk to us. We will explain to you. And let me, these are what you see now. Those are our major accounts. We do have smaller other accounts that don't have a lot of funding in them, but these are major accounts. And if you don't take anything else from this, just know that all your tax dollars, like every fireman, every police, every public works employee, everybody, myself, everybody works in water and sewer, that comes from your taxes that allows us to do services. So um, I don't know how to explain it. That's the main. I mean, if you got to take anything from local government or municipalities, is taxes really work. So I'm gonna leave that up. I don't see any question on there, but uh, and again, we post this every day, and then it changes every month. Now it is gonna be like a month or two month behind because we got to solid out our debt. Um, but if you got questions, just come see us. And I want to say that's the last slide. Okay, so a few more points, and I know I went very long today, uh, but I did want to explain that because it allows me to touch on a lot of subjects at the same time. I was talking to one of my directors the other day, and we watched a video on YouTube, and one of those great, uh, I don't know what to call YouTube star, um, influencer, my bad. One of those great influencers came through, and this influencer had over a million and a half followers. And those that follow stuff like that, that's very big. It means they have a wide audience as far as marketing and things of that nature. But they were driving through and they were coming down Corridor Z, and they stopped at one of our local restaurants. I'm going to say the name, not to get him any more promotion than anybody else. But I just want to say how, just sometimes I keep hearing that the worst things about Waycross. Y'all got all these different restaurants and this and that, and it don't make no sense. And but they stopped and they ate it. I think it's Bistro's restaurant. They did a whole video on it, and it got thousands and thousands of views. And it was good because it wasn't just Bistro. They were talking about the city of Waycross. And I was just thinking, because normally you go on YouTube and you put a video on Waycross, and it's us not at our best, because we do got some neighborhoods that need improvement. But we got, I make this comment now because we've come so far. For me, just arriving here like 2.5 years ago, and it ain't just because anything that Mr. Rayford just did, because it is a team effort or collaboration. Downtown, like I say, man, downtown is booming right now. You got a lot of choice of restaurants down there, clothing stores down there for young ladies. Now I got it because I know somebody's gonna jump on here and say, "Well, Mr. Rayford, ain't no stuff down there for too many of the men." I get it; they're working on that. But for children and women's clothes down there, we have so much down there. We have a theater down there that does plays now. We've been doing it, but they're picking that, they're wrapping back up. Um, what else? Oh, gymnastics. Yeah, we got a gymnastics studio down there for our kids. I mean, we have several fishes down there now. Like I said, multiple restaurants, clothing stores, furniture stores. The downtown development authority, partnering with the emergency authority, partnering with um, the city here. Man, it is great down there. Tourism board. I mean, they're doing a great job of promoting the city of Waycross. And if you didn't believe that, I mean, like, just think about um, the influencer. They weren't just passing by. They they somebody gave them, hey, you gotta stop there when you're in Waycross, and that was the reason they travel around the whole United States. I watched some other videos where they went to California because somebody told me I had a great restaurant in California. We have so many great mom and pop stores here, not just restaurants or fast food, but other services. You know, um, we are a diamond in the rough. And I just want to say, we all got to start thinking that way and promoting it that way. Um, because I would love to have another huge influencer come through here and just highlight, you know, another industry down here in Waycross. Because we have so many great other, great stories to sell about this community. So yeah, if you can, like I said, go watch that video. We might post it online later on. But that's just an indication of all the great things that are going here, not just because of the city or any of the authority. It's because the community is coming together. The community is buying in. The community wants to see Waycross Road. We're getting all these separate ideas about other things we could do. We got investors calling us, more and more every day about, hey, I want to come and do this and I want to come and do that. And I just didn't hear that when I first got here. And I just want to thank everybody in the city of Waycross on behalf of the commission and the mayor who's thinking that way, in that positive way of how to make Waycross grow, because it's working. I mean, it's working. Um, New hotels, the big chain restaurants coming here, the big chain, other food vendors and establishments coming here. And although we don't have, like the young lady mentioned here about that particular industry, we've had other businesses come here. They provide maybe not as many as jobs as they was going to provide, but they are providing jobs. So, um, although we still have other challenges, like I said earlier about our youth, um, we also got some great things going on. Those challenges with our youth, that can be mitigated too. So I just on that, the backup on that. I think in the past we posted I can't remember if it was a QR code or a flyer, but all those agencies that kind of deal as far as outreach program, we're gonna find that, post that again. Yeah, and post that again. And just look at, if you're waking up in the morning and you want to add value to the city of Waycross and you're trying to figure out what you can do, go to one of them outreach programs and help them out. You know, go to Oath. I'm gonna say a few, but we got so many. Help them feed the homeless that day. Give the children's wear children's awareness. You know, and ask how can I help out a family, because we got a lot of families. These food insecurities. You know, it's real for a lot of people. Can I buy somebody some groceries today? Can I buy some of them need toiletry? Can I do that? Some folks are living without water right now because they can't afford the water bill. Can I get them? I'm an old soldier myself. Can I get them some alcohol and baby wipes? Certain things, as a community that you can do, that we need to do to uplift everybody, you know. And then while we're doing all that, man, let's promote our story. I mean, like, we got a great story. It's a small town. You can say that, but we trying to be a big city with big ideas, and we can be both. I strongly believe that now, having lived it for these last couple of years. So I just want to close with thanking everybody. Like I said, is trying to be positive out here. These positive solutions, regardless of how they see the word politically or whatever. But you're working up every day to add value. help, man, thank you. You know, because we really need that in this time and day right now. So I went my whole time talking, which I normally don't do. But are there any questions out there? I'm just gonna see and look. All right. All right then. Well, hey, we got to run. We have an event at the auditorium. I think that's for everybody. So if you can put that in the chat real fast, or if it's not, then we won't. But we also got a lot of events coming up over the next 2 months. This is Thanksgiving. I mean Turkey Day. Um, we got the holidays coming up. With Christmas and um, who knows? We might get more than one snow day this year. You never know. For the kids, with Christmas parades coming up. Man, if you coming downtown this year for these Christmas lights all the way around, the big lights, you're gonna be surprised because we're gonna make sure this be a truly, truly splendid Christmas. So looking forward to all those great things. Again, we really appreciate all the positivity that you give City Hall every day, and we're trying to return that same positivity by working hard as we can for you as our citizens. I forgot to mention it is elections ongoing right now. You still can do early voting, and I went over there yesterday to talk to them. I think they had one mishap, but you're talking about 600 early voters. And they had one I guess wrong address, and they got that resolved like in 15 minutes. So I want to give kudos to our election board. They get hit in the head all the time, maybe more we do sometimes in the city, but they're doing a great job with that program. Thank you all the poll workers, the whole team over there, because this serious business now with these elections, and they out here doing it, making it first of all transparent. And I'm gonna echo some of the words I talked to some of the team over there. If you walk down there, you got questions about where you live at or your voting districts, don't vote. Just don't go in there and vote without really feeling all the way. Just pull a poll worker to the side. If the poll worker is busy, man, you can get the chairman, you can get somebody on the board, one of the directors. You know, I walk in Mr. Nelson's office every day. you know, so but you can go over there. Hey, I'm not. I live here, but maybe something's off a little bit. Get it fixed right there on the spot. They will do that and make your vote count. That's the way we look at those things. So with that, make sure because somebody jump in here. Uh, so again, when we don't have many questions, I always assume I did a great job on my presentation. I'll make that assumption now. Um, want everybody to have a great weekend. I'm not sure the weather, but I think it's supposed to be nice. Yeah, so get out there. And again, I'm not sure what's going on downtown this weekend, but I'm pretty sure it's something every night this weekend. Um, as far as an event, I want to say they having is it the bike ride in? Man, I missed that maybe. November. Okay, we got a lot going on still. Even if nothing's going on downtown, it's something going on downtown. I promise you that. It's some good food, some good fun. Some of our bar and restaurants we have. Go hang out. We got other events going around the city. And then back to what I said, being a community. If you want to help out with somebody, just reach out. We're gonna post those agencies. I want y'all really to see the POCs. Um, and you got the ability to and the time to help us, help you, help them. So just reach out and do something for somebody today. And with that, we will sign off. The next city update is always these are always the first and the fourth of each month, Thursday. So keep it back in your mind. We try to stay consistent with that. And with that, we're gonna sign off. I don't have any comments. This will be up for 30 days, and then um, Facebook gonna delete it, but it'll be on YouTube for archives if you have a question in like that. But you can leave comments here for up to 30 days, and we'll try our best to come back and answer those questions as we see them. And with that, have a great weekend. You got to have some fun. And again, if you got anything that you want the city to do better, or you got any great ideas, just reach out and let us know. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.